You're listening to episode 163 of Lifestyle Locker Radio with Dr. Jack Wolfson. Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and welcome to Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we help you create an awesome life and lifestyle. From nutrition to fitness, mindfulness to peak performance, and relationships to money mindset, we bring you on an amazing journey to help you unleash your human potential. Hey everyone, here's a little bit about our guest today, Dr. Jack Wolfson. He's a DO. He's a board-certified cardiologist who uses nutrition and supplements to prevent and treat disease. After 10 years performing angiograms, pacemakers, and other cardiac procedures, Dr. Wolfson started Wolfson Integrative Cardiology in 2012 to offer patients the ultimate in holistic heart care. Raised in Chicago, he attended Midwestern University for his DO degree and completed a 3-year internal medicine residency and a 3-year cardiology fellowship. He was selected as the chief fellow in his class. Together with his wife, Dr. Heather Wolfson, DC, they are the Doctors Wolfson. Their website, thedoctorswolfson.com, is an excellent resource for holistic health and lifestyle information. The Doctors Wolfson have 2 beautiful boys and were born at home, nursed for over 3 years, and they are still co-sleeping. And he is the bestseller of The Paleocardiologist, and that's his first book. There may be more coming down the pipeline, but what we're going to talk about today is the Carnivore Challenge. It's pretty cool, actually. I actually went through one myself just very recently, had a great time, had some challenges, but came out on top, felt amazing and like Superman. You're going to learn a little bit more about this in this conversation, so get ready to dive deep. Here's Dr. Jack Wolfson. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lifestyle Locker Radio. We have a return guest today. This is Dr. Jack Wolfson, the paleocardiologist, and today we're going to be talking about the Carnivore Challenge. Yes, you heard that right, Carnivore Challenge. I've done many things, and you followed me through all of this stuff from fasting to plant-based to 3-day flash fast. Now we have something new. I love testing new things, and I love sharing them when they actually have a positive impact on my health and my life. So Jack, welcome again.
Dr. Josh, absolute pleasure. And I think back to when I started telling you about this challenge, and it was just like a shock to, you were shocked even to see the look on your face as to what the connotations are with Carnivore Challenge. But I appreciate about you in the sense that you are a true biohacker and you're open to try certainly different things. And like you said, see how it works for you.
Yeah. It's funny, you saying that. I was speaking with another chiro after I think I spoke to you, and I told him, like, there is 100% no way in hell I'm doing the Carnivore Challenge. And then I spoke to him a couple of weeks later, and I'm like, yeah, I'm registered for the Carnivore. He goes, what? I go, listen, if it's working for him, this guy's a smart guy. Jack's a really smart guy. I trust him. So why would I not give this a shot and see what it does for me? So I want to thank you for nudging.
Yeah, no, obviously it's only 7 days. So
exactly.
I don't think, unfortunately, a lot of good can happen in 7 days. I don't think a lot of bad can happen in 7 days. But when it comes to the good, I think what we're able to do in those 7 days is prove that this diet is sustainable, prove that you're able to stay healthy during it, prove that it's cost effective, and it's easy, and it's fun. And ultimately, we can have all the discussions in the world as far as the health ramifications for a longer term carnivore, proposition. And I think science is still a little bit, is very behind, the times on this, but it's going to catch up. There's going to be more data as time goes on.
Yeah. So let's just do some of the basics for people. The Carnivore Challenge is a 7-day challenge, which you mentioned, and we're eating meat, seafood, eggs. That's it, right?
Yes, those are carnivore foods. We cut out the dairy, we cut out all the grain like wheat, barley, rye, corn, soy. I don't eat that stuff anyways, but that's all gone. Certainly no gluten. But even the vegetables, everybody holds the vegetables are the greatest thing. Well, vegetables can be a good thing, but in some people, vegetables cause problems. Fruit is obviously very high in sugar. All these different starchy carbs. So by going carnivore, you eliminate all those foods, and there's nothing more nutrient dense than those animal foods. There's just not. That's very common knowledge.
Yeah, and it's also like where you're getting now. I mean, if we go back to the paleo people, right, and they were getting their animal proteins and fats, they didn't have to go to a grocery store and start searching through like the organic section, right, to find real good quality food. We have to do this through this process. You know, when we're going through the Carnivore Challenge, you know, sourcing your foods is super important because, and I joke around with other people. I said, if we're in a grocery store shopping for food, we go to the organic section. If that's where the food is, what is the rest of the stuff in the grocery store?
Yeah, I don't. I listen. I don't. Mince words at all. Listen, that is pesticide produce. That is
Yeah.
tortured animal products. I don't shop in those places. I stay away from those places, as I know you do as well. And yeah, when we talk about carnivore, it's ethically treated, pasture-raised animal products, whether it's eggs or it's meat, and we always go for wild seafood. And that's how we roll. And it's just so simple to do, as you found out. You're a super busy guy. You're working. You're married. You got the side job is this online personality.
Yeah.
Plus you exercise like crazy. Plus you're a biohacker.
Plus
Where
I
do you
travel.
find time? And traveling. I know you're always on the move, going somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is like the perfect way to do it. It's the perfect way to do it, to go carnivore during these times. But certainly, getting the experience of the 7-day challenge, I think, is perfect.
Yeah. So let's just dive a little bit into this, because people are thinking like maybe someone that was like me going, wait, hold on. I'm mostly plant-based. I eat some like organic grass-fed meat from time to time, or eat some fish. Why would someone really want to do this? Like, give us like the top 2 or 3 health benefits off the start. I know it's 7 days. Like if someone did this for a month, it'd be obviously very different. But if we just did this for 7 days, what are some of the micro health benefits that people are going to start to get right away?
Well, in 7 days, you will lose weight. You will lose weight actually very quickly. Some people that have done the challenge with us have lost over 10 pounds. If you don't have a lot of weight to lose, you're not going to lose a lot of weight. But again, you can lose weight. Your blood sugar will markedly improve. Your lipid numbers can improve. Your inflammation can go down. Your energy can go up. Your sleep can improve. Your libido and sexual function can get better in 7 days. And we've got the testimonials. We got the documentation of this. 7 days is absolutely perfect, again, for you to get a taste, if you will, for you to get a sample of what it's like to do this. I am the paleo cardiologist. I do believe in eating paleo foods. I think that plants certainly have a role in overall good nutrition. But again, it's a matter of, can we also do different cycles? Maybe in the wintertime, wherever we came from, it was definitely a lot more meat heavy. Summertime was more vegetable heavy. If you came from Poland, from Eastern Europe, or from Northern Europe, or you came from Scandinavia, or you came from Russia, what do you think you would be eating all winter long? You would not be eating vegetables. You would be eating animal products. That's how you would survive.
Yeah, no, that's such a great point. And I think I'm have a genetic test coming in hopefully pretty soon here. So I'm going to see really where like my people come from. But we know Eastern Europe, somewhere like I'm a mutt from over there. And, my experience, you mentioned a couple things, between losing weight, and I don't know if I lost any weight, but I can tell you for me personally, in the mirror, I looked very different. I mean, like I went from like pretty good shape to like you starting to like see like the fibers in the muscles. And that was with very minor exercise for me that particular week. So I looked very good in the mirror. And for me, just to share with everybody, this is like when you're detoxing all of the stuff that's going on, and we're going to talk about some of like the pre-work that you have to do in a minute. But when you're detoxing all the crap out of your system, and for those of you that drink caffeine, whether it's coffee or tea on a regular basis, when you don't do that, you're going to probably feel it. So especially if you're loaded up with sugar as well, same thing. So I had a headache for a couple of days, but you know what? It was my body detoxing. And by day 3, I had tracked my sleep. I tracked all of these things. My energy levels went through the roof. Working a 12-hour day and coming home from work, my wife is already like in her pajamas, ready to relax. And I'm like, all right, let's like, what else can I do? And, my energy was through the roof.
Well, listen, I mean, I think, Dr. Josh, I do want to say that when you mention quitting coffee, sometimes that's a conversation stopper right there. People will, a lot of them will default and say, I'd rather die than give up my coffee.
This is true.
And I understand that. But that being said, the challenge is for the individual. So if you want to continue to drink coffee on it, it's It's up to you. It's not carnivore, but you can. If you want to continue to eat some plants, it's up to you. If you want to have an avocado, it's up to you. These things are all up to you. The challenge is all yours.
Yes.
But I do think you're right, kind of breaking these patterns. Like, can I do this? Can I, as a human being, survive for a week without coffee? Can I do it? And then the hack that we have for that, Josh, is that to do bone broth in the morning. And bone broth
I started
is
that.
not coffee, but doing that bone broth first thing in the morning. Now you get the warm, you get that energy, you get that, that feeling kind of going. And it's also extremely satiating. Like, coffee is not satiating. After you have coffee, you typically want coffee cake. After you have bone broth, you're good until sometime well after lunch. It's all of those nutritious fats, because again, these are the most nutrient dense foods in the world. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah. And the neat thing for me in particular was, I never really thought I craved food, if you will. But, I like those first couple of days, I was like, I'm searching. Like, I'm not hungry, but I'm searching for stuff. And by day 3, I just didn't give a crap. I felt great. Like, I was like, great, here's my beef stick, here's my, steak, here's a, can of whatever it was. It became so easy. And the cool thing for me was it didn't take a lot of time to eat that way, which for me as a busy person was like, all right, got this. It can be cold, it can be hot, and just keep going, which was phenomenal as far as timing goes. So I thank you for that. But before we get too deep into all of this stuff, let's go back, because what has to happen before the challenge is actually quite important. And Dr. Jack's going to talk about some of the supplementation, some of the why behind taking this, because this will make your challenge, make these 7 days of work for you a lot easier, a lot healthier. Because, frankly, anybody can eat meat, fish, and eggs, or meat, seafood, and eggs. But if you're doing it the right way, you have the right coaching, you have the right people on your team and the community around you, it's a lot easier to win. So would you mind sharing some of that?
Yeah, no, most certainly. Right. You can do this by yourself, but I think success is always better with a coach, with a guide. And that's what we set this up for, is for myself and my team to be able to support people through it. So when people joined our challenge, here's what they got: is they got a coaching call with one of our health coaches. And I know, Josh, you experienced this as well. My coaches are just absolutely stellar.
Absolutely phenomenal.
And they really talk to the individual person about how the challenge. Let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk about some of your health concerns. Let's talk a little bit about your health history, and let's talk about this challenge and how we can fit your needs there and dial in what's right for you. And some of those conversations wound up in, okay, 100% meat, seafood, eggs. Some of those wound up in, okay, have some leafy greens during the day, or having half an avocado. We dialed it in individually, for people. So they got the health coaching call, and during the call, we also explained the supplements that help to kind of pre-detox you before the challenge starts, to make sure that through skin, urine, bowel, everything is kind of getting clear out of the body even beforehand. So we've got a functional food mix, which is a delicious shake, chocolate and vanilla. We've got an amazing magnesium product, and then something called Paleo Multi, which is a multiglandular. So through those 3 different supplements, and then hopefully starting to clear out some of these other bad habits in your life, and that could be poor sleep, lack of sunshine, lack of physical activity, too much stress in your life, too many toxins and pollutants. We want to give you all that educational material as well, so you can practice these things before the challenge starts. We recommended everybody to make sure you see your chiropractor, get adjusted before, during, and after the challenge, just to make sure, again, that we are just functioning at our best. And we give a 21 recipes and 7-day meal planner. We give all the different references and resources of where you can buy the foods. And then I think, Josh, you experienced this as well, the access to our private Facebook group, where we meet every single day. People are posting recipes, people are posting their success, their challenges, their troubles. It's really, really special to be part of that tribe.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for the cost of admission, to get the coaching call is probably worth the cost of admission alone, let alone being able to have access to you, have access to your team during this. And it's not like they are just sharing one thing during the day, like the video, which is for me, I'm no guy taking notes, my phone on the table, learning. Was I consider myself somewhat smart person, but when there are people that are smarter than me, my ears perk up. I like to learn, because there's a lot of things that I don't know. And I think it's awesome. And we'll say for the average person listening, this is going to completely blow your mind how much access you have to this to Dr. Wolfson's team, him and his team. And that it's, they're going to share tons. It's not just the people in the group they're going to share, but you're going to get so much. I mean, the value in this is quite amazing. So I want to thank you personally for that, because it was an awesome experience for me. And I'll call it was definitely a challenge for me going just 180 degrees from where I was. But I tell you, I felt phenomenal. Energy levels were through the roof. And, I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse sweatshirt here because I was at Disney World, the last couple of days of the challenge, last 3 days of the challenge, and traveling in an airport. So having to go and eat, and it became easy. I became like the steak eater at a lot of these places because that was the easiest thing for me to access in a lot of the places I was. And I had to bring food to Disney. I ate I think a dozen eggs or something, 8 eggs or something like that for breakfast, and then had beef sticks and venison and other things with me. And I didn't crave anything, which was phenomenal. I mean, I could tell you the smell of Disney. If you've been there, if anybody's been there, it's like I think they're pumping sugar into the air. So you start breathing this stuff in, but super, super easy. And I don't know what else to say. It was so good to be.
Yeah, sugar and artificial ingredients that they're doing there. But I think, and listen, we haven't been to Disney in probably 4 or 5 years. And the last time we were there, my wife was carrying our middle son. Our baby wasn't born yet, so carrying Brody, around with her. And then I'm pushing the stroller, and the stroller is full of food. That's and that's how we enter that place. We bring our own food, our own water into that situation. And again, traveling with a can of sardines, with a pound of deli meat, traveling with some sliced some pieces of chicken or the jerkies or the meat bars. It's become so easy for us to do this. A half dozen hard-boiled eggs.
Yep.
It's super simple, and it's also very cost-effective. So you're not wasting all your money, in those places on their horrible food or travel food. Airport food is triple the price. So we can do this in a much healthier way. But I want to circle back real quick, Josh, about the price of admission for this. We charge $300 to get into the challenge, and yes, it helps to cover, of course, my staff time. It helps to cover the supplements and all the materials that we've created. But what it does is that it allows you also to put some skin in the game, because if people, what I've found is that if people don't pay, they don't do it. When you put the value on something, now someone's like, wait a second, I just spent $300. I just got all this food. I just had the health coaching call. I'm taking the supplements. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to participate. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to tell people about it. And I think it's a really exciting opportunity, again, to break bad food addictions, drop some weight in a short period of time. We want people to enjoy life, but again, getting into a challenge like this, again, helps to reset the system.
Yeah, and I think personally for me, this is something I'll probably do because I do different types of fasts. This is something I'm probably going to do a couple times a year to break some patterns. As an endurance athlete, someone that uses and abuses my body on a very regular basis, I'm always looking to make sure my nutrients are good. I'm always making sure I want to clean out because I want to reduce inflammation, right? That's a huge thing. And I also want to be able to perform at my highest level. And you mentioned this, I think, on one of the coaching calls I'm just going to share. Like you mentioned, when we're eating an animal product, what does the animal eat to build themselves, right? Most of these animals are, right?
If you're an athlete, which I know you are, Josh, if you're an athlete, because there's a lot of propaganda out there and stuff like that. If you're an athlete and you want the best athletic performance, or even if you're not an athlete and you want the best physical performance, doesn't it make sense to fill yourself with the most nutrient-dense foods in the world? And the most nutrient-dense foods in the world are animal products. Nothing is even close. Nothing is even close to beef liver, lamb liver, pork liver, heart, kidney tissue. Nothing is even close. Nothing is even close to an egg. Nothing's even close to a can of sardines or even the whole sardine or wild salmon. It's just not even possible to think that. So let's just start, right from there. But again, I think it's a great challenge, whether or not you choose it for a total lifestyle like some medical doctors have. I like the idea of cycling between carnivore and then keto and paleo and variations thereof. And we do the carnivore challenge. We're doing it now every single month because that monthly reset for most people is a good thing. That means at least, 1/4 of their life, the food is really dialed in and top notch.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see some of the data that's going to start rolling in for people that are doing this on a regular, semi-regular basis, because health is, as you know, it's like we're living longer than ever before, and it's a big picture thing. It's not like what I do for 7 days is going to affect me 75 years from now, but if you're doing things that are regular, like exercise, like brushing your teeth, all these things, right? Going carnivore for a week at a time or maybe a month, whatever it is, these things are going to have some really proactive responses in the future. And that's what I look forward to. Maybe not the immediate, you get to see it and feel it, but I'm looking forward to the future. Because that's the important piece.
Yeah, I think what we have right now, the best data we have to go by really is, outside of historical data, what happens, with the Eskimos and tribes in Africa that are mostly, carnivores or even in the animal kingdom. But I'm not going to try and extrapolate and say, well, are we more like cows? Are we more like, wolves and lions? But it's the ketogenic data, the data that's coming out from the ketogenic peoples. And the early data from them looks very, very, very promising. I published a chapter in a medical textbook that's all on paleo nutrition and cardiovascular health, and I found hundreds of studies to support my theory, hypothesis, and my beliefs about why paleo is heart healthy. And again, I think that between the ketogenic data, I think we've got some really good information to talk about carnivore. And also what carnivore does is carnivore keeps your insulin levels very low. And insulin is a driver of disease. You want to keep your insulin levels low. Higher levels of insulin is linked with just about everything, and of course is linked with type 2 diabetes, which may be the worst diagnosis anybody can have. So again, by going carnivore, you're getting all the nutrients you need. You get none of the junk that you don't need, and it's a great thing, especially for to try it for 7 days.
Yeah. So, but one last thing, and then we'll call it. You mentioned pre-call of a plant-based athlete that went carnivore for 30 days. You sharing that?
Okay, so as far as the, I'm not sure. I do know that we shared the information. She was a well-known vegan blogger and personality and stuff like that. A lot of followers. And then I guess she shocked the world because she switched over to carnivore for 30 days. And she documents that, and she says she felt unbelievable on that. So. It was just kind of interesting as far as that goes, and I think that some of these super athletes, as they can thrive on. A lot of professional athletes eat McDonald's cookies and cupcakes. So does that mean should we make a movie on that? Should McDonald's come out with a movie and say, hey, this is where our athletes thrive? Michael Jordan smoked cigars, drank scotch and ate McDonald's all day long, and that was Michael Jordan. So. Yeah. It's hard to really say, kind of what these athletes are doing. I think, once again, is that, again, carnivore is the most nutrient-dense foods. I think that meat and certainly seafood has to be part of everybody's diet. I think that if you are 100% plant-based, if you are 100% vegan, you are making a major mistake by not eating the seafood, because the seafood, omega EPA, DHA, only found in seafood, is pure brain food, and you're missing out if you're not eating that.
Yeah. So what are how do we get people over to the challenge?
Well, let's, we can do the doctorswolfson.com/carnivore, and that'll take you into the challenge area where you can get more information. You can sign up. If you use the code LOCKER, you're going to get a 10% discount to get into the challenge. Because if you're, watching Josh and stuff like that, I want to give you a little bit of props and kudos for the amazing stuff that Dr. Josh is doing. So we'll give you a little bit of a discount there. I don't want to give you too much of a discount because, again, I got to pay my staff, I got to pay my team,
exactly,
for what they do. But also, again, I want you to invest in you. We're going to give you the supplements. We're going to give you the coaching. We're going to give you the recipe guides, all the information to be successful. And then we're going to help kind of hold your hand, throughout this process. And I think, once again, we've done this for about 60 people so far. And everybody's doing great. Nobody's wound up in the hospital. No one's had a heart attack. No one had a gout flare. Everybody's getting healthier. And if you look at our page, all the testimonials, and then once you get inside of the group and you see what everybody's been doing and talking about, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So everyone, make sure you do go ahead. You're going to be able to check it out in the show notes, whether you're listening and or watching. Dr. Wolfson, I want to thank you. Jack, this has been an awesome, awesome time. And I look forward to future success with you helping, thousands of people through this process and through the paleo way that you teach on a regular basis. And my audience, I know they love having you on, and they are going to appreciate this, because when they dive in and get a little bit of an experience of a carnivore, it's going to be it'll be a lifelong changing experience, so they can start doing this periodically. So Jack, thank you so much.
You got it, Dr. Josh. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I hope you did enjoy that episode with Dr. Jack Wolfson, the paleo cardiologist. I'm pumped. We just did the Carnivore Challenge. I hope you are going to jump on board too. Make sure you check the show notes. You can get all those details at lifestylelocker.com/carnivore. And when you go there and when you actually get to the Dr. Wolfson's website to register for the Carnivore Challenge, make sure you use the code LOCKER. It will give you 10% off. I want to make sure you have some skin in the game. So when you do this, you're going to get the support you need. You're going to get a lot more than you bargained for in this. Like I said, I think the coaching alone is worth the price of admission, let alone all of the stuff that's going to happen during that week, all of the pre-work, then the during work, then the supplements. It's pretty awesome. So make sure, again, head over to lifestylelocker.com/carnivore and get yourself registered. If you like what you're hearing, please, please, please give us a shout out on iTunes. Give us that 5-star review that we deserve. And if you think this is good for someone, please share this episode with someone you love, someone you care about, someone that may need to lose some weight, someone that may need this Carnivore Challenge. Once again, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, Lifestyle Locker Radio. Have an awesome day. I'm out.